Okay, chat room. Whenever Barf is ready. Hey, chat room, be sure not to talk during the intro.
Remember, chat room. Shut up. All right, cool. All right, let's rock and roll. In 3, 2.
You're listening to the Converted Podcast, the podcast about the Guild Convert to Raid on Airy Peak, US.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 163 of the Converted Podcast, the World of Warcraft podcast all about the Convert to Raid Guild on Airy Peak, US. Sal, why don't you tell us what the audience has got in store for them this week?
In this episode, we have the holidays are over, now get back to work! Your converted shoutouts, a special surprise from your guildies, and it's Turarts' last show! Yay!
Yay!
Yay.
That's a happy thing. That's right, I'm Barfolomew the Paladin. Joining us this evening is our Turarts-centered episode is the one and only Turarts herself. How you doing, T?
I am doing good. I have been dibble-dabbling in the WoW, and I finally got that mount from the WoW anniversary, like, just in time. And let me tell you, that Defile stinks. Like, that is awful. The worst. So I went in blind and not knowing anything about the fights. Didn't know you didn't kill them all the way. No idea.
Wait a minute.
I was like, why?
Swirl?
Yeah, that was like, what in the heck is happening? Didn't know that if you die on boss 2 or 3, you start all the way over on boss 1. This is great. So yeah, the only one we one shot was BC, and I know because I talked about this on something else, but I knew there was no Illidan. I knew they weren't doing that fight again, but I was still sad that I couldn't see my little hoochie mama again. So it's fine. I love me some Illidan. But yeah, that's what I've been up to. I've been doing the anniversary stuff and then still grinding some reps, that sort of thing, just rounding up as we wait for the next kind of 8.3 funness. So, yay for that. But I'm so excited to be here tonight, and be sure, as always, to get us your chat room shout outs. I said it right almost. So close to saying it right. Get us your chat room shout outs, and we will get those on later in the show. So put them in there now. We're watching for them. We got you.
Also with us tonight is one Ms. Salmisis the Shaman.
Hey guys, don't let me pretend like I'm going to do a show when I'm AFK. You know, I feel like I do that once or twice a year where I'm like, yeah, I'm going to be there, guys. I'm going to be there. I got the show notes done. Dude, this is going to happen. And then I'm like, you know what? I'm actually like at my parents' house and they've got like 3 megs download speed and it's not going to work.
And he had an accent too. Like, I'm a sucker for an accent. Now, I would appreciate this with me. No offense, Barf.
An accent. Yeah. When I'm at home, I have this crazy weird accent.
Yeah.
I don't speak, you know, like I'm, you know, on the East Coast. I talk like I did growing up, which is not something I generally like to have happen. So yeah, thanks for filling in though. Warcraft stats, that sounded great.
It was so
that I can't believe I missed him. Like I was really happy to have him on, and darn it. So we'll just have to have him on again.
Yes.
Yeah, he was a great guest, and I'm sure the next time he's on, it would be a fantastic show too, for sure.
But
high expectations.
Good job, guys. Great job. Merry Christmas. We're back and everything. Am I the only one in the world who was like happy to start like a 5-day work week?
Yeah, you know, I'm glad the holidays are kind of over. I'm glad to get back in the rhythm of it all.
Woo! Had my coffee this morning. I'm like, let's answer some emails. No problem. But Barf, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm doing pretty well. I came up recently with a new idea for a creative project that is in the Warcraft sphere, but I'm unwilling to talk about it at this time because if I ever actually talk about it, I'll never pull the trigger on it.
It'll never happen.
So I'm just going to go ahead and do that thing where it's like there might be an announcement of an announcement sometime at a laterly announced date, but you'll have to wait for that if anything ever happens. And if I never do anything creative ever again, everyone knows it was because I said something vague about it today.
It's
Isn't
your
that
fault
fun?
already.
Yeah, I've already ruined it. We'll never do it. It'll be awful.
Can't wait to not see that.
Yeah. It's going to be great. Or not.
Or not.
We don't
So that's what I've been focused on. Tonight, a little bit of a break from the usual. Instead of a regularly scheduled guest like we would bring on, instead we are going to celebrate a pillar in our CTR community and on the Converted podcast. A little bit over a month ago, she let us know that she would be retiring as our guild's event officer and leaving the Converted podcast forever, and we're not ever going to let her back. So don't let the doorknob hit you.
Good thing I have wine to comfort me. Dang, this is a great goodbye so far.
Jokes aside, I know that I speak not only for myself and Sal, and Eshelon, and Cuddles and Bell and every other host and co-host and guest that the Converted has ever had, but also for the entire audience as well. When I say I know, we're all going to miss you very, very much.
This was, and I'm sure, like, since this episode's about me, we're going to talk about a lot of things, but this was a hard, complex, a lot going on to it in decision, and Barf and Sal know some of it, and other people know others of it, and this was not easy, but I would not trade this ride for anything in the world. All the ups, all the downs. I have cried on this show and laughed on this show, and um, unbeknownst to Sal and Belle, I have breastfed while doing some of the recordings I had to do for the show because Miles was so little at the time. You guys have
On
watched
camera?
Miles grow up. Nope, no, never on camera. Because I did the audio for a bit. We did the little audio bit at the very beginning before I came on, and so yeah, I have done. I mean, Miles has grown up with this show. This has been such a blessing, such a blessing. I mean, Coltrane's here. I can confidently slide into the DMs of freaking Coltrane and Pat Crane. I have met Taryn, Gregory, and Christy, and this show has changed my life in ways I never thought it would. So as much as you are gonna miss me, I can't even begin to describe or explain not only how hard this is, but how much I am gonna miss all of you. So before we start crying more,
Well, I'm not here to. We're here to celebrate the
Yes.
Turarts.
yes,
And in that vein, I thought we could kind of recrap. We're not going to crap anything. I thought we could recap, some of the things that we know about you. I'd like to
Yes.
know your Warcraft history, your CTR, your converted life, and then I want to go into what you plan to accomplish next.
yeah.
Just like other guests that we have, please tell us who you are, where you are, your shoe size, what you do, who are you IRL?
All right. So my name is Turarts, also Amanda. I am a mother. I am going through a divorce. I'm not shy about that on Twitter, so no big deal announcing that here. My shoe size is a very small 7, sometimes a 6.5. Every now and then, I get a graze up to a 7.5, and the shoe selection becomes so much better for some reason. I don't know why, but so very small feet. I live in Iowa where it's cold, and every winter I go, "What am I doing here?" But every winter I stay because fall comes, and I'm like, "Oh, no bugs, trees. This is great." And then winter comes, and I'm like, "Jesus, what are you doing, girl?" Um, I, yeah, I think I truly believe that everyone in this world has a story worth telling, and I love hearing it. I don't care how you grew up, if you're liberal or conservative, or if you're whatever, but your story is worth telling and sharing, and that's why I started this, was because I wanted to do those stories. So I will always, oh my god, there's so many people in here. I will always believe that your story is worth it, and do this. If you have an opportunity, get on up in here. get in this podcast or a podcast. So
Get all up in here.
but yeah, so I think that's everything. I think that covers most of it. I have 2 cats, a dog. I'm a Libra. I like long walks on the beach, pina coladas,
You've got no beach.
getting caught in the rain. Hey, we do have some beaches. There is a res. I don't know if I would swim in it, but there is a res. So I mean, hey, sup?
Okay. That I'm not even sure how to pick up from that. That was like, what about Warcraft?
I have
Warcraft
always
history.
wanted to guess this show. Like I would kill it. Warcraft history. So I started playing Warcraft 2009. My ex-husband was moving. So we were going to have to do the long distance thing. And he had played it before, and where he was moving, he was becoming the manager of a new pizza chain. Where he was moving to, the group of people he was working with were still playing it, and so he's like, "I'm going to pick this up. This will be a great way for us to, stay connected with the 3-hour, drive between us and everything." Lo and behold, before the summer was up, they actually offered him the position back where I live. So he moved back here, but the love stuck. I was so amazed that you could walk into people's houses and they gave 0 craps. Like, you could go all up in the dwarf's house and be like, "Hey, I'm going through your stuff. What's going on? How's it going?" Don't go through the houses with the red bars, though. They're bad guys. You're gonna die. Just don't even try. Because
They're a horde.
they're
of
horde.
Bad guys.
Low key, I love the Alliance. I bleed blue, but the Night Elves, like, they just attract me. Like, even the men kind of attract me a little bit. So, like, I like the Night Owls, and I walked all up in there like, "I'm an elf, you're an elf, what's going on?" "No." Don't Smart looks like he has a question to add to that. But yeah, I
Sal,
loved it. So
remind me, what race is Illidan? I can't remember what race Illidan is.
He's a night elf.
He is a
Oh,
night elf.
all right. Okay.
But he goes all demon-y, so I mean, like, someone's podcast does a competition where you have to write, like, an NSFW story.
Oh, that's Unshackled Fury.
That's it. Okay, Unshackled Bear. This is gonna be safe for this podcast because I'm not gonna say what I wrote because I didn't turn it in because I was chicken. But it was totally like T the night elf and a blood elf. Like, I've always liked blood elves. Like, I don't know why, and everyone's like, "But they're just girls." I'm like, "No, like Thanes that we'll talk about post show maybe."
Okay. I only remember them doing the
Yeah,
one competition,
yeah.
and the one that actually won that competition and was read aloud on air
It was not
would
mine.
make your toes curl.
It was not mine.
I was shocked that Berserker said that out loud.
The reason I did not, and if you guys, Navox, if you ever do it again, I'm not on this podcast anymore, and I am not an officer, so I will turn it in, no questions. Was because of that. I was like, "Ooh, like, do I want people to know this much about me yet?" And again, we
Yes.
could post show talk about this because then Sal doesn't have to edit. But I was like, "Ooh," so I didn't turn it in. But Illidan and Night like Blood Elves, like. So anyway, history.
I'm sorry, Berserker is not here right now. It's like he's in California, but Navox is here. Navox, remind me about this. We'll get this going. We will get this going. Wow. Okay, let's.
Yeah. Back to my history real quick. I was in a group. We were having problems with Lich King. My favorite thing to do though was back then you did 10-man and 25, and you can do them both.
Uh-huh.
And I loved organizing Pug 25s. That was my jam. Like, let's get it together. Let's go in ICC 25. I loved that. It was so much fun. I was so sad when they did the whole switch to like you didn't get gear for both. So
Wait a minute. You just talked about ICC 25, but then a few minutes ago you talked about being surprised by the LFR Defile.
yeah, no, I didn't remember it. We didn't do well on Lich King. We didn't get
You
far.
forgot Defile?
We didn't get that far. We were not a good raid team. We were not.
Okay.
Defile was a heroic ability, wasn't it?
Yeah, I didn't think it was. We didn't do heroic. We were. Oh, Warcraft stacks. Oh,
Hey, Warcraft stats. Hey, stats. Sorry about last week.
But yeah, it was. I don't remember ever seeing Defile. Like, we barely made it through the first phase. Like, we were not good. But we loved each other. Like, that's what our raid team was. We loved each other. And we could down the first 3 wings. Like that. So yeah, no, I don't remember Defile. Guild then split up because we couldn't get Lich King down. There was some like raid leader side hooking up with the healer whose husband was also a co-raid lead. So there was some drama. None of them are in this guild, so I can totally like talk about this. Um, so there was some drama, guild split. We went horde for a bit, and then got pregnant, had my son, stepped away from WoW, and when we came back, my husband and I, ex-husband, um, he had been listening to the instance that got him into CTR. I fell in love with Coltrane instantly, like that, like fortune cookie humor is right up my. I know Coltrane's here. I know, like blushing, crying. That got me like hooked. And Solar Flare invited me into the guild. And I remember being like, oh my God, this is the Solar Flare. I was one of the first 100 in the guild. So that's kind of my WoW, like brief history with some sidebars.
I feel like I remember having a conversation with Solar Flare at one point where he said that when Zug shows up, people are like, "Hey, it's Zug," and when Coltrane shows up, people go, "Hey, it's Coltrane," and when Solar Flare shows up, people say, "Hey, are you the real Solar Flare?" Did you ask him that? Because I
No, I was
definitely
like,
asked him that.
I figured out it was Solar Flare because they gave you this spiel of stuff like download this green wall and things like that, and I was like, because it's me and this is just my personality, I was like, thank you so much for the opportunity to be in this guild. I'm so excited to find a home to play with again. And he's like, no, we all are too. That's why we created it. And I was like, oh my gosh, you are Solar Flare inviting me. Like this was in my head. And I was like, like I really appreciate, like I was so like, I think I thanked him like 8 times. And he's probably doing 20 other invites while this little girl here is just like, because I was young. I was 22 or 23 when I got into the guild. So yeah, I was a wee little baby back then, but I was so excited, and I would like speaking of breastfeeding earlier, I would play while I was breastfeeding Miles. Like I'd have him here, and the keyboard kind of rested on him, like just playing, and that was like seeing the people in the chat, and yeah. So that's kind of my WoW history up to CTR because I figure that's a good base. But Illidan, man, he had me hooked from day one.
If you were one of the first 100, that meant you joined CTR 1, right? Convert to Raid 1.
CTR 1. I remember all of that drama. So I became an officer in April, and we were still doing CTR 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I think someone had sniped 5 from us. And I remember the discussions between Pat and Solar. And I think Solar, like, he's not here. I think he actually paid his own money to rename all the guilds because we went with okay, because I came in right as this was becoming a thing, and Pat's like, we can't do 1, 2, 3, 4. We need to do something else, and that's when the idea of Azure Shaw is technically the first one. In case you're curious, CTR Shaw is CTR 1. Came up, and that way
You're
people
not
weren't
supposed
like,
to tell people that.
I've said that so many times in the show,
Yeah.
so many times. But because people, when I would do invites, people would be like, I want to be in CTR 1 because that's where everyone else is here.
That's the best one.
Yeah. So I remember like I'm sorry, like they're all the same. We're linked through Greek, like having to explain the spiel over and over again about it. But yeah, I remember that going down and low key like Solar paid for all of that so we could keep going and there was the CTR Hogger. There was snipes all over, but yeah, I remember all of that. So I was there.
That is some OG beginning stuff.
It was. But yeah, so that's kind of like my WoW history up to CTR, I guess.
Well, so
Okay, so Barf, you go ahead.
I was just going to ask. You mentioned earlier that okay, I was becoming an officer at that point, and that was when all these other things were happening. So, what led
Yeah.
into you becoming an officer in the guild?
At the time I was a stay-at-home mom, who I like surprise, I'm an introvert who's very shy. So I didn't have any adult friends. I was literally talking to a 7, 8, 9 month old all day, every day. Like that was my life. And I loved being a stay-at-home mom. I would trade that for nothing in the entire world. But I needed that socializing. And so the event planner role became open back when Red was the lead. And I was like, you know what?
Red, yeah.
Yes. I was like, this is for me. This is gonna force me to get out there and socialize. It's gonna force me to talk to people and hopefully you'll make some lifelong friends and because I am really bad at making friends, 100%. When things go south, I push away because I don't want to burden you with my problems. Um, and that's not where friends are it, but in my head, I've worked up, like, they don't like it's just it's an anxiety thing, like, it is. So I was like, I could talk to people, make some friends, and actually have conversations that aren't, "Oh, look, you tripled. Oh, let's go wait," like, just the baby talk of, like, having a baby. So that's why I became an officer, and that was in April of 2013. So about 3-ish months after the guild was started. And we were still doing the first week of the month invites. Those were great.
Oh, the first week of the month
Yeah!
invites.
I don't
That's
know.
right. It was like no one's getting invited
First
except
through
for
the
1 week
7th.
of the month.
And we were
That didn't last
24/7
long.
on no, we changed that in June. That got changed. See, this is why Pat loves me. I don't think he's here tonight, but this is why Pat loves me. I remember stuff like this. Like, we need to have a town hall, BT dubs. But like I remember when the last things are. So I'm like, yep, I remember June was the first one when we were like, all right, we're done. We're doing this different. So we went to like a Thursday, Sunday, Monday schedule, something like that. So yeah.
In the chat room, Navox went and I don't know what he searched.
Are
Did we
you
use
talking
Discord
to
back then?
Solar Flare? No, we had the forums. We didn't have group me yet. We were all the forums straight up.
Well, Navox went and searched something and just copied and pasted.
Yep.
He has the forums. Oh my
It's the
gosh.
forums. Okay, so it
We
was March. It was
really
before
pushed
me
those
then.
forums to try to get people to
I
use them.
loved the forums. I'm kind of sad they went away, but the forums were amazing. I loved them.
And Navox saw March 3rd, 2013.
Okay,
Solar
so it was
Flare.
before me.
Doing this right now. CTR1 equals Shaw.
Yep. But he paid for so it must have been right after I came on then, because my first full week of invites was in April, so maybe I came on in late March, but I remember, like, the discussion of all of that, yeah. It was crazy, but so I became an officer in April, and an event lead, and that back then, it was not separate departments. I think rating was, but if you were events, you were inviting. So we also invited people. That changed, obviously, because now we have a greeter department. And then, when Red had to step down in November is when Pat and Jules came to me and asked me to step up as event lead. Um, just because I had a lot of big crazy ideas for events. Like we did a cloth gathering competition to get bags, and we did an herb gathering one for mats for potions, and I gave each raid team who signed up so many potions. I spent so many nights. I had paths in Mista Pandaria for every herb, and I would just like I was sniping. I was good at gathering herbs. Like go down, like whoop. Don't even waste your time. I got this spot. So like it was. I did so many crazy events that would not work now because we're too big and it's too crazy to level up that stuff. But yeah, I loved the forums, guys. Like they were great.
Do you know what I love? I love the chat room. The chat room
Oh.
is distracting me so much right now. Apparently, I'm not gonna start doing that. I'm not gonna go down that route. So today, January
Yes.
6th, is is an anniversary. It's a special
It
night. You're
is.
like the queen of anniversaries and the dates, and you're always
I
remembering them. But what's
am
special about today?
So, January 6th, 2014 is the first episode that Sal and Belle did live, introducing their new guest host, Navox, and I was the very first guest on that as the new event lead. I remember reaching out to the podcast about a week or so after I had um, made event lead, and I was like, "Hey, I want us to be able to be on the podcast to talk about events. Like, I want to get the word out there as much as possible so people can't say, "Oh, I didn't know." So, like, I wanted to make sure that we were here, we were doing things. And so I was like, "Yeah, no, so this is what we're doing. What do you think?" And yeah, so this was my very first 6 years ago, and, for the first bit, I just did recordings that were turned in, and then eventually, I was just brought on live. So, I've been on here pretty regularly for 6 years now.
I remember that night. That was the first night we ever. The Navox came in and brought us into the
This
millennia,
world.
brought us onto Twitch, and before that we were just me and Belschnickel recording these videos on whatever we were trying to do back then using Skype or something. We really did it the hard way. Really did it the hard way. And Belschnickel would edit it down. And then what's his name? Navox came on and brought us to Twitch, and that was history. We never did that again. If we would have broken up
Good
if
old
it
what's
wasn't
his
for
name?
Navox. Really. Belschnickel and I would not have lasted. We wouldn't have talked to each other ever again. And now I can talk to him every day. It's great. But that was not your first time on the show, though. That was your first. I'm officially like part of the cast. But you had been on. No, that was
my first time
there was
on
an
the
interview.
show. Yep. So
But
real
didn't you
quick,
record? Go ahead. Oh my goodness.
can you say hi?
We were talking about you earlier, buddy.
Yeah, you've been on this show since you were 7 months. So yeah, this is your last time. Oh, look how big you've gotten. You can talk now. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. You go to bed. All right. Yep. Finish this up
Hi,
and then go to
Miles.
bed. Do you want to say bye real quick? Bye. Don't worry, you'll be around. I'll still post pictures of you on Twitter.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. But yeah, that was my first time on here. Was that
That was
day?
the interview.
Yes.
But then you started recording your segments for us.
Yes.
But you recorded the audio.
Yes.
How,
We did audio
remind me of that?
first. So at first I did audio. I tried to do audio and video, but it didn't work for some reason. Like I just wasn't understanding. I had zero tech when I first came into this. I knew nothing about anything other than to turn on a computer, you pushed a button. This podcast has helped me so much over the years. I did audio at first, like the first 2 or 3 episodes. I'm an animated person. I've been on this podcast for 6 years. I use my hands, I move, I talk, I get excited. I want you to see I'm excited so you can be excited. So that's why I decided to do video, and I used to do like there was Valentine's Day, like I cut out all these hearts and pasted them here. I did something weird for
Yeah.
like a St. Patrick's Day. Like tried to make it interesting, but I had to have these recordings in. And then for some reason we just brought me on one episode and Belle's like, "I like this. Let's just do this all the time." And then it just became I would hang out by my Skype and watch the stream while you guys did the guest, and then I would come on. And over time, Bell started to get busy with his impromptu stuff that he was doing, and I would help host, and then it just kind of I don't think we ever had an official like, "Hey, T's a host." It was just kind of like, "You're a host."
Yeah, we're just gonna bring. You're just
Yeah.
here every week, so now you're on now.
You're just here. Yep. So yeah, I say that would be my CTR converted history would be that. But yeah, this is the exact day, not the time because we used to do an hour later, but the exact day that I first debuted and you guys first went live. Like that's 6 years you guys have been live. Like that is huge. Like that like there are podcasts that barely make it 10, 20, 30 episodes. Like 6 years of live. And then there was what almost a year before.
Yeah, the secret of longevity is every other week.
Yes. Yeah. But yeah, it's just that's amazing.
So you would say then maybe that your experience sort of growing within the podcast sphere then spilled it, because I know you do a bunch of stream. Well, occasionally you'll jump on the stream machine every once in a while and do the video game thing. So, tell us about your outside of the converted projects that you've done.
The converted brought me to so I haven't been to a BlizzCon. Like that's also not a secret. So I would go on like the Game K show, Blizzard Watch, talking about talking about what it was like to not be going, and because we used to plan these huge CTR parties, planning that like how to and I'm really bad spokesperson for this, but I guess I faked it really well. How to get over like the fear of missing out FOMO, but still enjoying it while not being there. Which I have not like mastered that at all. Every November, I'm like, nope, I'm off of Twitter for the next 2 weeks. Like, go away. So I got on the game case and jokingly post show, he's like, I love having you on. You're such a like we work so well together, good guest. I'm looking for a co-host. And I'm like, well, I don't work Mondays, so I'm free every Sundays. And it just kind of happened. Like, so I became a co-host of the Game Case for a few years before like life just took over and we both had to step away. I have been a guest on so many podcasts. One of my favorites is Azeroth Roundtable, which is a horde podcast. But I love talking with John and Ben. Like they know their stuff. They're not afraid to kind of go off on the weird like what if tangents with me, which we have before. I think we've even talked about like my burning love for Illidan on that one too. But like I've been on that. I've been on Girls Gone WoW. I've been on there's a couple other ones I don't think are around anymore. I feel like Tempest Keep or Tempest. There's a few that aren't even I think a thing anymore. I've been on Darkmoon Herald with
Yes.
before you were on it, and I think the reason I never got asked back, they're very scripted, which is great, but I pronounced Gin as Jin through the whole segment that I had because I'd never heard his name said. I used to not do sound on my stuff. I just had subtitles. Um, so I had never heard Gin's name actually pronounced. So in my head, it was Jin Greymane. And so we're
Oh.
doing the whole thing. And at the end, Kevin goes, "This is really great. You know, I love it. I just want you to know it's Gin." I was like, and he said, like, he's not a perfectionist, but they're so scripted. Like, I didn't really have to do anything. It was great because I just, like, it was all scripted, but I felt so bad that I just
Oh my gosh.
loved it up
Don't.
the whole time. Like,
It's not like Kevin went back and edited
no,
that.
I was just,
That is a guy that likes his scripts, though.
he does. Yeah, no,
I tanked that show. I got on there and I was like, that's it. Darkmoon Herald, it's over.
no, you were on there for a while.
That was a fun run. Gosh, Kevin and I get along really well.
You guys were like,
I miss his face.
because Sunday mornings, like I have a kid, I'm up early anyway. So while I'm making pancakes or omelets, like I would have you all on in the background, and you guys feed off each other so well.
Yeah, I miss him. But we're talking about missing
We
you.
are. Yeah, sorry. This is why I love podcasting. But so yeah, I did that.
Because of the tangents.
I know. I love getting to know people. Like we've never interviewed Sal or Barf before. Like I want to interview. But anyway, back to that. That led me to streaming. And I love streaming. I have backed away from it a bit just because of some personal things. I do have plans to get back into it in 2020. I've set some goals, that sort of thing. I won't have a stream for 2 weeks. I give myself 2 weeks to kind of just grow and figure out my next steps and that sort of thing. But that led me to streaming. And that, if you want to talk about learning what they do here, stream. If you want to do a podcast, you don't have to stream it. I'm not streaming my podcast. Stream. You are going to learn how to impromptu talk. You are going to learn how to slow down and enunciate. You are going to learn so much from streaming and the technical side of things. I know things about computers now that I didn't even know that I knew or could know. Like I just didn't think I was, I don't know, smart enough. Like I know that sounds stupid, but that's honestly what I thought. I just wasn't smart enough. I changed my graphics card I changed it. I did that. I went from a 630 to a 1080. Look at me being all snazzy. That's a huge upgrade, by the way. Like I didn't realize how big it was until I started playing some games. I'm like, oh, what have I been doing?
It's like,
But
vroom.
like especially the way I did it, I kind of just got thrown to the fire. And I had Cuddles a little bit as a mentor and some other people as well. But I was Googling things left and right, like, wait, how do you do a highlight? What is a clip? Like, you want to learn, just do it. And if no one's going to watch you, that's fine as long as you're comfortable just talking. And like I fortunately am. Especially if I play Cuphead. Like if you want to see a tea after dark, get me some Cuphead and we're gonna have some fun. But yeah, it has led me to so many things that if you had asked me 7 years ago when I joined this guild, would I be here? I'd be like, no, I'm just gonna be some low level guildie who's idolizing people like Coltrane and Zug and Jules and too scared to talk to them. Yeah, and here I am. So, oh my gosh, trolls.
I'll have you know that our auto mod just auto modded me typing the word but. But is not
Didn't
allowed in our chat room.
didn't Navox make a list of things? If I remember correctly, there's a list of random things that you can't say in our chat room because of Navox.
Work was one of them.
I remember that.
Work was a banned word for a long time, and I didn't understand it until I went and looked in our in our preferences, and someone had put just a bunch of like random words that were like curse words but weren't, like work.
And I
I
guess
mean, I get it. But yeah, Navox is cursing in our chat room now. Work. That was infuriating until I finally learned how to like sign into Twitch. That's how I learned to get into Twitch.
Yeah. No,
I was
there's
trying to figure out our chat preferences because Navox is a troll.
he is a troll and it is amazing. Like I am a little bit sad that Navox, Sal and I were on a show because I think at the end of it, Sal would have wanted to kill both Navox and me because I would have fed him all day long. Like, oh my goodness, I would have fed that troll so much. Um, but yeah, that was like I've seen this show grow so much from Skype to Discord, from how Sal edits things to like this has just been an amazing experience. Even though I haven't done a lot everything, I've learned so much from listening to you guys talk about Navax, I have this problem, help me, or how do I do this? Like so much from that. So just if you're thinking of podcast or streaming, literally, okay, get down. I don't want you to lick my face. You lick your butt. Get down. Like I don't.
She said a naughty
Just do
word.
it. I did. Just do it. Like it is. No one may be in your chat. Like tweet me and I will come and I will hang out for a little bit. But just talk to yourself and people are going to come. Like there have been times when I've had 20 people in here. I'm like, I don't know why 20 of you are in here watching me because I suck at this game so much.
It
But
has
thank
nothing
you.
to do with the game, honey.
I know it's because I'm adorable.
That's right. You get it now. It's took us like 6 years for you to say something nice about yourself.
I know.
And you just nailed it. It's perfect.
Navox, I swear to goodness, if you clip that.
Navox, please do clip that. I definitely will appreciate that. Name of the show. Why are people calling out the name of the show like it's something bad? Let's not talk about that.
The name of the show is.
Let's not. It says Turarts' last final bow.
I read it as blow. Like
this is bow.
I see that now.
That is not what Nav was saying. Nav was saying that I don't want you to lick my face because you lick your butt should be the name of the show.
Oh, should be.
Oh. Tink was saying something. This is me getting distracted by the chat room. Again.
Good. Like there's so many like people I love here tonight. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that a little bit.
Okay, we're gonna talk about those people. And yeah, there's a lot of great people. Lots of great people in there right now. And keep those clips coming, guys. Now, I'm gonna move this along. I'm gonna get this train going, right? And let's talk about what's next for our team. What's next? What are you doing next?
I'm definitely taking some time for me coming off of the divorce, figuring out who I am, what I want. Living the single life. It's gonna be great. Focusing on Miles. Like personally, that's what's next for me in a personal. From a professional standpoint, I did drop episode 1, which is a 5-minute little teaser of the podcast I'm doing. Now, you may be asking yourself, why haven't you dropped episode 2? I am used to a 2-monitor setup, and when I installed my new graphics card, I have to get a new cord thing to hook up my second monitor to my graphics card. So I'm waiting for that to come in. It finally got on. I got on iTunes. I'm so
I was looking for it on iTunes. It wasn't there.
It's there now. Yep. It's called Words of Warcraft. I totally did the art by myself. That is 100% Turarts original. I learned how to do Photoshop stuff. Like, look at that. There is a Twitter. I think it's words_Warcraft because Words of Warcraft was already taken. It's just a little 5-minute why I'm doing this. So that's what's next is this podcast. And what it is, just real quick, Miles is starting to play the game a little bit. He calls it Worgen War Game or Werewolf War Game. That's what he calls it because he plays a Worgen and he thinks it's a werewolf. And he's like, Mom, there's always war. I'm like, well, Yeah, like it's called World of Warcraft. So yeah, there is. And so he has so many questions about things. He's like, "Who's the king?" I'm like, "Well, it's Anduin now. We just lost a king. Well, who's that king? Varian. What was he like?" It's just all these questions that I'm answering. And with the divorce and joint custody, my time with him, it's not limited, but having to do homework and working with him on his therapies, like there's only so much that we can talk about with World of Warcraft. And he's a 7-year-old who's very cunning. So if he can talk about something not school and he knows I love it, he's going to keep asking questions and I'm going to be like,
Oh yeah.
yeah, yeah, let's go. So I was like, ha ha ha, mommy caught on. So I told him I would record the stuff for him. And I would record the stuff for him, and then I would let him listen to it when he got home from school. And I told myself, you know what? If you're going through the effort of recording all of that stuff, why not just put it out there? Like, you're not going to do it live just because, oh, that smile's adorable. Like, you just broke my heart.
Oh,
You're
Mommy's
not going to do it
back.
live. Um, but you can record it and put it out there for people to listen to. So, and maybe no one's going to listen to it, and that's fine, but he will. And so what the premises of it is we're going through the craft in a very random order. Like the first couple episodes are going to be about Varian. So we're going to start with King Varian, and then we're going to move on from there. And let me tell you, real
This is normal.
he's very excited. Like he knows I'm upset because this is my last episode. So he's like, "But I want to be here for you." I'm like, "That's cute, but you have school tomorrow." Um, so we're recording this lore, and we're going to talk about these stories. And what I have learned is I know nothing about this game. Nothing. As I come into this, I came into King Varian in Wrath with him, so I knew Varian from Wrath. What I didn't know was his history before and the parallels with all the things that have happened as I'm sitting here. Like I really need to do a stream where I'm researching someone because the amount of times I go, oh my god, did you guys just? And there's no one here, and I'm like, all right, T, did you just hear that? Like, did you just? But it's so rich and vast, and I went to college to be a history teacher, and then I decided I didn't want to be, so I didn't. So I love this because it lets me that passion I have for teaching people and for learning about history and getting people excited about history because you need to learn it. Like you need to, even though this is just a game, so I don't know how it translates into real life, but still, like it's so important. It fuels that. And I love World of Warcraft. I do. It is such a rich, amazing, fulfilling game. And the things I am learning about a game I've played for over a decade that I did not know. Yeah, it's just amazing. So that's definitely next. I have episode 2 written. I'm rocking I need my second monitor. I'm vain. I need it to be able to record because I have to have things here and things there. So once this part comes in, we'll be recording episode 2, which is Varian. Episode 3 is Varian. I'm trying very selfishly to hold on Illidan because I want to do them right away, but I want to like take my time,
Phrasing.
or I want to do that episode right away, but I want to take my time and kind of talk about some other things to him.
Hey, listen, as long as you get episode 2 out,
Yes.
within the next 5 months, you're still gonna
I
beat
am
Coltrane and Shoe Boots.
That's fine. I'm on like a consistent schedule at that point, like one
Yeah.
every 5 months. The joking aside, Coltrane, I am so excited for your next episode. Like I cannot wait. I just love the energy and everything you guys bring. I am planning on doing 3 episodes a month, so that's my plan. January might be a little iffy just because of this. I didn't realize how like important a second monitor was until this happened. I'm like, I cannot do anything. So,
Does
um,
not compute.
yeah, it doesn't compute at all. So that's what's next. Definitely see me streaming some more. It'll be a little bit of WoW. It'll be a little bit of Diablo because I have got the itch, baby, and oh, I love it. It's so much fun. It's right up my alley. But there'll be some Cuphead and there'll probably be some Fortnite because my son is better at me and has gotten more winnings and things than I have, and I'm competitive and can't let that happen. So it's fine. But that's next for T.
Yeah, you're pointing, but the thing that you skipped to, I don't see it on here, so I'm not sure where to pick up.
Hey, Turarts.
Hey, how's it going? I am.
No. Stop. I'm gonna do something.
Okay.
I'll see that in the audio. Okay. So, hey, Turarts. Now that you've been with us for so long, you've been with the show
Yeah.
for so long, and all this, give us one or two highlights of working with the
Oh my
guild
goodness.
over these years.
Highlights of working with the guild. I came on in November of 2013. And our 1 year anniversary was coming up, and I went to Jules because she was my next up in line was Jules at the hierarchy we had. And I was like, Jules, we gotta do something for 1 year. This is a huge deal. You guys have way more guilds than you ever thought. You thought this was gonna be 200 people. We're at like thousands. We have to do something. I had lost most of my staff in that transition from Red to me, which was fine. I did the whole first year anniversary by myself. A whole week of stuff, of getting donations. I think actually I did all the donations. I ran so many things to get the donations. And I had this brilliant idea to do a scavenger hunt, which I have never done one again. The reason is because I was going through making a list. I wanted some things easy, some things hard. And there were these gray boots that dropped off of the Murlocs outside of Stormwind, so in Elwyn Forest. I killed 20, 30 of them, boots dropped. Sweet, little hard, easy enough. It'll be like a nice little like murder some things. Plus they're level like 10s. This was before scaling. You're gonna go in and murder them quick anyway. So people are going through and they're doing it. It's been about 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Solar Flare is doing this, by the way, and I'm sitting here like, oh my goodness, Solar Flare is doing my event. And I think we had a Sky Golem as the prize. So it was at the time a big deal. Like that was a big deal. January of 2014 still. Expensive mount. Um, and people are going through, and of course I expected them to get online and search where they could find this stuff. Like that's just expected. They can't get these boots to drop. No one can get these boots to drop. We're an hour in. Murlocs are dead and like troves around us. There's another place where these drop that like just killing things. I think there was a dungeon that people were resetting to try and get these boots. No one can get these boots. That RNGesus was with me the day that I tested this because I'm like, I'm not gonna just throw things on a list. I want to test this. um, no one could get them at all. Oh, it was so bad. So I nixed the boots. Solar Flare though did get the boots and he did come to me and win. But second place was like a mech engineer chopper. So we had some like good prizes. But I was like, I felt so embarrassed because I'm like, I did this. No, I did
You
this.
made
What
like
is
this
happening?
impossible scavenger
It
hunt.
was so it was great. It was great. But that was a highlight, 100%. The first few rounds of class boot camps, I don't know if you guys remember that, but I did class boot camps
Yes.
for a while
Wow.
where you helped learn your class and things like that. Solar Flare jumped on the Hunter one every single time. He's like, "Yep, nope, I got this." I was like, "All right, I learned so much from that man. Like, I will never be able to thank him." Um, we did that. Yeah, all the events we did, like some of the cheesiest ones, like lawn darts. They just were such a big hit, people loved them. And then, and I love this
All
story,
the dead cows.
oh, the story of how Cuddles and I met was I had been on the show, and, like, for a month before, I was talking about this pet battle boot camp I was gonna do because pet battling had just hit big. I was talking about it, I had gotten all these great pets, and I don't know, when you do events, you have to understand it just might flop. And one person showed up for this event, one person, and I was so devastated because I planned, I hyped, people were excited, they were talking about it in guild chat, they were talking about it on the forums. I was so excited and so people I don't know what happened. It just happens sometimes. One person showed up and it happened to be Cuddles, who was fresh into the guild. Very fresh into the guild. Like we're talking weeks into the guild. And here I am like devastated, but I'm still like, me, like just excited, just me. Like I'm just me, excited, and I'm talking about this stuff, and I end up giving him like 8 or 9 pets, because he's the only one there, and like talking about the guild, and like a few weeks later, he ends up becoming one of my event planners, and then we do the podcast together. So like, I 100% was. Is at the like I was married at the time and my husband was there like I was in tears because I was so upset that this event I had planned, everyone was so excited for it, and I have one person showing up. And I was like, "You know what, T? Like, this is one person, but you still have to give it your all. It could just be the day. It could, who knows?" who knows what happened? People could have forgotten. And that's when I really started to push. We need to think of a way to get these events out there better because this isn't working. Um, but yeah, like that friendship happened from that. The CTR parties, planning those, like, oh my goodness, those were such great memories. Um, Playing Cards Against Humanities with Jules, what like that is always something that I will think about. Every now and then I think of something that I can't say because we're a podcast and I just start giggling because of it. Um, Getting to know doing the parties, you really go through the trenches and you get to know people because we are stressed and we're not frustrated, but there's so much to do and all of a sudden it feels like the time's here and you're like, this party's tomorrow. So you really get to see so many sides of people and you get to be there for them. And that really cemented for me the fact that I wasn't just some little old girl from Iowa who was just trying to fake it and hoping people didn't notice. Like, no, I'm Turarts. Like that's I don't want to say it's a household name, but that's a name that holds weight um, into this guild. Um,
It does hold weight.
it does, and so yeah, just those parties, even though I was never able to attend, were such a blessing to be on this side to help rah the people who also couldn't attend because it really not to take away from anyone who goes there, like, good for you. But when you are home and you're watching all these people you love, who you've never met before in real life, but who cried to and you've laughed with and you've watched them go through like life changing events, like you want to be there. Um, so there is a certain level of me having to push everything down to be like, all right, guys, we're getting in chat, we're watching this live stream, Cuddles is about to come on. Um, so it was so great to be that person for so many people to 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 be that little connection between where they wanted to be, but where they were.
There's no doubt at all how many lives you've touched. I mean, maybe you created Cuddles. He shows up to one event.
Thanks.
And he becomes an event planner. Barf's
I'm just
face
kidding. Cuddles,
now.
I love you, buddy.
No,
He becomes an event planner. Then he starts streaming the events. Then he just starts streaming. And then he becomes the game case. And then he becomes Cuddles. And now he's Mr. Twitch. What is it? Not affiliate.
Twitch partner.
He's a Twitch partner. Maybe that was because of you.
We
Let's
have
go.
when we were talking about that podcast, we have talked about how our worlds are a circle because I would not be streaming if it wasn't for him and being on this podcast. And he's like,
Right.
I know I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for that one event where you showed so much love to a nobody. I'm like, you weren't a nobody. You were a CTR member. Like, that's a huge deal. Like, that's big. You're no one in this guild's a nobody. You're important.
And that is how you treat everyone you come in contact with.
I tried
And
that.
to that end, I thought maybe Barf and I could share like we're going real long on the show, but considering what's left still, but Barf, maybe you and I could share a highlight of working with Turarts over these years. You go first.
Well, the first thing I thought of, actually, somebody over at twitter.com/convertedpodcast also thought of it and posted it today, or yesterday, or whenever it was, of that time that moth almost killed you.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, there was that.
Yeah.
And then this wasn't something that happened actually on this show, but I remember the time that you performed Baby Got Back on your stream. That was a really great time. Oh, Sal's got this look on her face. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I can get me down. Like Sir Mix-a-Lot and I go way back. Way back.
You know, and I mean, I could go through all this list of all these like funny little moments of like wacky things that have happened, but I mean, really, I feel like I agree wholeheartedly with everything that Sal just said about, you know, how influential, like everything that, you know, you sort of got your hands in ends up turning out really great and all these other things. And in fact, in point of fact, that we were talking earlier about the CTR party and wrangling the chat room. I've been in that chat room before. The years before I started attending in person, I would hang out there because that was the place to be.
It was.
And then even it was either, I think it was the last year that we held the party. I have a photo in the other room actually of Kara and Habant, who are taking a selfie in front of their computer monitor where you could see it was like the wide shot of the party just as it was happening, and a whole bunch of the Rubber Chicken Coalition were all hanging out together taking a group photo. Get the raid team together, we'll all take a photo. And they took a selfie in front of the group taking the photo so that, quote unquote, they could be in the photo too. And that was like, I just think of stuff like that when I think of how important like those kinds of events are. And I mean, you talked about, your interactions with all the different people. Like it's too many things to just mention individually any bunch of stuff. I don't know, man, just this general feeling of like, holy smokes, you're really cool. It's been a fantastic time working with you and hanging out with you and being your friend, so thank you for that. That sort of thing, though, right? That's kind of my feeling.
Yeah, Turarts is not dead.
You're still my friend.
I guarantee she's gonna be tweeting.
Oh gosh, yeah.
All day.
Will you be tweeting?
Oh gosh, I think I'm gonna step away for about a week or so. There's been a lot going on in my life, so I need to step away. But I will be like, I have too much to say to not tweet.
We know. Oh, we know. And we got the podcast on Subscribe. Words with Warcraft. I'm going to tell you one highlight. And I've known you for years and years, and worked with you with the CTR party and BlizzCon, and did this with you. But I'll tell you one time where I was really, really thankful to have you to have Turarts in particular with us, where Barf's internet is usually like on point, like super fast, like everything's cool, right? One day there's a hiccup, like, okay, this happens. He'll be back online pretty soon, and then he's like on his phone going, guys, it's not happening. Guys, actually, I think the whole neighborhood's out or something. I don't know. And I remember being on Discord with you. And I just remember seeing like your body like just change, like your shoulders just kind of go back and go, okay, this is what's going to happen.
Do. Yep.
And you and it was messy, but it totally worked. And you got us back online. You were streaming the show, and because of you, we were able to continue doing whatever we were doing and talking to the guest or whatever it was. But I was like, thank God for Turarts on this day, because we wouldn't have finished the show. We wouldn't have had a show that day. And I'm like, wow, thanks to Cuddles for teaching her how to do that.
Like, I am very bad about believing in myself 100%. But when there's a task or something where it's like, I know I can do this and it's going to get the job done. And I remember that because this whole emotion of like, all right, it's my job now to get this show going. And yeah, that there are moments where the confidence comes in, and that was one of them.
I just remember looking at your body and how your shoulders just changed, and you slammed on the desk and said, "We're doing this."
It's just a piece of meat, Sal. Relax.
Pardon me?
She's not just a piece of meat. You said, I just remember looking at your body, and I was like, okay, there's a joke here. I got to jump in real quick.
I mean, it is a great body.
You know what, Barf, you've got to have this queued up as we roll into the next kind of as part of our podcast. This is the longest interview we've ever had with anyone ever.
Sorry.
Come on, your tea.
We knew this was gonna happen.
I need that sounder. You got that sounder handy?
There's sounders.
I just hit it. It should play. Why didn't it play?
It's time for tea.
We did it.
Yeah,
we got there.
That's the oldest and like only sounder we've ever had on the show. There you go, Bruce Nee. It's time for tea. Yes. Now, we just got out of the holidays. Are there any, like, everyone is just kind of coming back?
Yeah.
Right? So I'm guessing this is going to be the one time we don't have guild events to talk about right now. This is going to be the one time we don't have a raid report. And we've had raid reports every week. But now we just don't have any. Raiding is coming back in a few weeks, and everyone will be right back in it. It's happening. 8.3 is coming. We're all going to be back, and we're going to have these reports. So, and we're going to continue to have these reports. We're definitely doing this. Now, right now, I want to open it up to the floor to the chat room. Please send us any shout outs or favorite moments of Turarts so we can read them out loud. We're gonna we're going to take all your thoughts. Now we're gonna go into the giving Turart shout outs, and we're gonna say a few things, but you've got a few more minutes, chat room, to get those in. Now, but first, I actually have a surprise. We have a surprise for you.
For me?
Um,
I thought we were announcing the next thing. Oh,
so
okay.
we
Nope. I don't.
no, that's still a secret.
That's still secret. Yeah, that's why I was like, okay.
We've got
What?
2 surprises for the chat room. So we got 1 surprise for you and 2 surprises for the chat room.
Okay.
And
Man, I only knew there's 1. Now there's 3. Like, okay.
oh wow, whoa, hey, Barf, are you ready?
Yeah.
Should I be watching the stream or should I be watching you?
We're gonna hear this live, right?
We are?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
gosh.
So you can watch us and participate in the chat room, and let's go.
How do you sum up someone so special in an audio message? You can't, but I know we will do our best just to show you a fragment of how awesome you are, Turarts.
Hey T, it's Jules coming by to wish you all of the best on your final episode of The Converted. Thank you for all of the time that you have given to the members of the Convert to Raid community in so many ways. If you guys don't know me, I am one of the former leaders of the Convert to Raid Guild for its first 5 years and the leader of the CTR party for 5 years at BlizzCon. And I have worked with Turarts for a long time. And she was there as part of those beginning days of creating the Convert to Raid Guild and its culture, its leadership. It was kind of a crazy time when the guild was formed because the response was so huge. And we needed to quickly come together to figure out leadership roles and structure and what the guild needed. And Turarts was there. She was part of the voices, and she became the leader of those voices who said, we want more than just raiding. We want more than just having instances run. And she stepped up and came up together and said, I can do this. I don't know how, but I'm going to do this. She also came in and said, I want to help with the party. Even though she could not be there in person to travel, she wanted to be a part of the experience for those who also couldn't travel and be at BlizzCon, but wanted to be a part of the community in their own way and with those that were at home but still very much part of the guild. And she lent her voice for them. She helped sit there for hours, super late because there was a big time difference in the Central Time Zone to Pacific, being there for the party live stream, helping give out prizes, giving us and being our eyes and ears of the live stream when we're running around like crazy, losing internet connections, not knowing what's going on and trying to run a party on site. It was a lot, and you did it all, T, and you did it for a very long time. Thank you for so many, many things that you brought to the guild. All of the ideas, the energy, the planning the 5-year anniversary, the planning every anniversary 6 months in advance because you're so wanting to make sure that it went well. Creating a week's worth of events every year to celebrate the coming together of this awesome family. I mean, you've given so much of yourself, and I just say thank you for that. It's so hard to say goodbye to that. I mean, I know it's so hard to move on, but I know that you're making this decision for yourself in all the right reasons. And it's as hard as it is tonight. Just know that it doesn't mean that this is a goodbye. Wishing you all the best in all the things you're about to do. And thank you for your time with CTR.
Hey T, Navox here. Did you know episode 23 was our first show together? Your first appearance on the Converted podcast was also my first episode as a full-time co-host. You've been a cornerstone in the Convert to Raid Guild as our events coordinator for the past 6 years. I wish you the best of luck, and may good fortune smile on you as you begin this new adventure. And we'll see you around Azeroth.
I now offer my tribute to the end of an era. Lionel Richie leaving the Commodores. Michael Jackson leaving the Jackson 5. Sal Mysis the Shaman leaving Texas. And now T leaving the Converted. These world-defining incidents have some things in common. While initially viewed as a tragic end to legendary companionship and success, they all ended up creating a platform for the next evolution of greatness. Initially, Turarts' imminent departure left me reeling, heartbroken and shattered. Inevitably, my mind traveled to the darkest depths of what this new reality might mean. It hit me like a prelude to the apocalypse. I found myself sitting, staring at my cup of gourmet gas station coffee, unsure what to do, feeling like I did when the Game of Thrones ended. So many memories, so many epic adventures, a timeless story tragically and unceremoniously severed from existence, betrayed by the ones I trusted most to entertain. How does one find comfort in such world-ending sorrow? Then the answer came to me. Like Lionel, like Michael, like Sal, like the phoenix of legend, T will rise. Rise to new heights of greatness heretofore untouched by the paltry exploits of humanity, because she is and always has been legend. Wait for it, daring.
Greetings all, this is Berserker from the Unshackled Fury podcast, sending out my heartfelt farewell to the one and only Turarts of the Converted podcast. You know, in a time when much lip service is paid to the concept of community, you Turarts are one of the rare few that actually lives and breathes what it means to help build a community and then live within it. Your presence over the airwaves will surely be missed, but being the real-life superhero mom that you are, we can certainly all understand if your services are needed elsewhere. And in the wake of your departure, I see a request to share our favorite guild memories, and for me, there was but one memory that stands alone at the top. And that is when Sal lost the Dark Below bet to me, and you can all see payment of that debt by going to YouTube and searching for the Ballad of Berserker. So farewell for now, dear Turarts. May you find happiness on whatever shores you land, and thank you for being a true pillar of our community.
Hey, Converted. Cuddles here. This has been super hard to record. Turarts, thank you for everything that you've done. You have inspired not just me, but an entire guild of people. From that very first pet battle roundtable to doing the Converted with you to doing our own podcast. It's been an absolutely fantastic ride, and I wish you nothing but the best of luck in the new year with whatever comes your way. I know you're going to crush it, and from everybody, thank you. We love you, T. We're going to miss you.
Turarts. Yes, it's Coltrane. Yeah. Okay, that's 2 yeses, but you deserve it because you're Turarts. Now listen, you're like Wonder Woman, right? You have things like strength, character, integrity, willingness to do good, to overcome evil in all its shapes and forms. Thank you for everything you've given to the CTR community, Warcraft. You've been a pillar, and thank you for holding us up. You will be missed, but we're so happy and proud of you for all of your accomplishments, stepping out of your safety bubble and getting it done. As long as the planet doesn't blow up, because apparently we're going to World War III. I didn't mean to get political. This is insane, though. All right. We love you, Turarts.
I just have to say, Turarts is amazing. Turarts is very strong. I love how you are able to do all this stuff and yet be a parent to a growing kid. I'm going to miss the "it's time for tea" and just your love for the community, your love for people, your empathy. You bring a certain charm, and I know that wherever you go, you will have a bright future ahead, and we'll always be here for you. But it's going to be sad to not have you on the Converted. You're always welcome back, and please keep us updated where you go. And watch out for that moth that might pop in during things. We all remember that episode. Turarts, I hope you know how much we all love you, and we will definitely miss you.
It's time for tea!
Hey T, it is Belschnickel. I received the news that you were leaving the show and your position there in the Converted Guild. And I wanted to drop a line and say that your contribution to the guild and to the show is one that you can't even put a price on. You can't qualify. I remember when you first started coming on the show for your segments, you injected an energy into the show, and your passion for what you were doing is something that really was really great. I know this decision for you was not easy, but there's so many other things that are coming for you that are going to be positive things in your life, and you know that. I know this is something you thought through. So I just wanted to say that you'll never be forgotten. Your contribution will always be there, and thank you for your commitment and your passion to the guild. There's very few people that have put as much of their soul and themselves into this guild and this community as you have. So thank you for that, and good luck to whatever other creative things you have coming up for you. So one last time,
It's time for tea!
take care, T.
Hey, Turarts, it's Pat Crane, and I thought I would just pop in and say a couple of lines here. As I know that it's your last official day on the Converted podcast. And what a ride it's been over the years. You have been a champion for the CTR Guild and everything that it stands for. You have really stood up and led and tried to find homes for players in our guild. And I always just think about how many people that really is over the course of 6 years that you've been able to help out, how many homes you've been able to find, how many lives you've been able to impact because of where you were. And I'm so glad that you are part of CTR. We are so lucky to have had you for so long, and I'm so proud to have you be a part of this online family. It's meant a lot. Wherever your journeys head from here, just know that you have an entire guild, an entire mega guild of people that are rooting you on all the way. We wish you only the best.
Guys,
That was
Yeah.
intense.
I know we're gonna move on in a moment, and I know this has gone long. I'm a little girl from Iowa. Well, I'm a woman now. I can't say girl anymore. I've had a really hard, especially the past week, of thinking that I was leaving this show and no one was gonna care or remember who I was, because I don't think that anything I did with the guild really did matter. There are so many people that just spoke who I look up to so much. Jules has been there for me, and I've just through some major life things. Coltrane, like, I will never, never, ever be able to explain how much you inspire me and I look up to you. And the fact that you know my name and you don't get annoyed when I slide into your DMs like, hey, when are we gonna get you on that Converted? Um, I was terrified that I was gonna leave here. And that was it. That everything I did wouldn't matter. Because there's so many nights that I spent trying to find ways and trying to find things to get this excited. And if I'm being brutally honest, my husband was not supportive of this at all. Like, he fought me becoming the lead of events. He said I wouldn't be able to do it, it would be too much. And I wanted to prove him wrong. And I was so scared I didn't, and that he was right. And the past just weekend has been really hard. And you guys have no idea how much this means to me. And I can honestly say that I would not be alive today if it wasn't for this guild. This guild has helped me through some very dark times and some very bad places. And I have met so many wonderful people that I was really scared that when I announced I was stepping down, it would be like, well, she's not event lead anymore. Why do we need her around? And that you'd all forget about me and I'd go back to being the stay-at-home who only talks to her son, except for now instead of baby talk, it's Batman. And just thank you. You have no idea how much you have helped me believe in myself and how much I could never repay you guys. Because I am not joking when I say I would not be here at all if it wasn't for so many in this guild. And as vain as it sounds, I was really scared that my ex was right and that I really did fail and that I should have said no when Pat and Jules asked me all those years ago. But
Thanks for that really raw response, and thanks for your years and years of service. And I think everyone will say that you've touched their lives in some way, and there's scores and scores of people who would echo the same. I could have got 100 people to record something. Tink learned how to record something on his phone. I have no idea.
Tink is a
how he
liar.
did that.
Tink sent me a message. It's like I missed. Sal told me she wanted a video and I missed it, and so he recorded this really raw message. That so I didn't know that this was happening. I thought maybe you just asked Tink because like I didn't know about this, but he told me he missed it. So Tink, I outed you, and I'm sorry.
Are you telling me that Tink ruined the surprise?
Thanks, Tink.
But I didn't think it was this. Like I didn't think it was this at all. Like my favorite moment of this podcast was our 100th episode when I surprised all of you with Coltrane and Solar and Jules and Pat, like their little snippets of things.
That's right.
That was my favorite moment to be able, because seeing the looks on your faces, I'm sure is what I just looked like just now of how raw you guys matter. And I want every nobody in this guild to know that you do matter. I don't care where you're from. I don't care what you believe. I don't. I really don't. I can't change your experiences. I can't. I don't want to. You matter so much. And please believe me, because I've been there. I've been in places where I almost didn't return from. I've been in very dark places, and just log in. Seriously, just log into this guild and just look, and you'll see it. You will. This community has made me believe so much in myself. And I was really terrified of this episode because it is a closing of a chapter, but that I was going to leave here and everything I did just didn't matter. And that my ex was right. And that it just solidified like just some other things too, but I was so wrong, and thank you. I needed this. Thank you.
Well, thanks for giving us the heads up.
Yeah.
So we're able to celebrate you properly.
Thank you.
And I gotta say, right? Doesn't usually feel this good to prove somebody wrong. Doesn't usually feel that good.
This time I'll take it.
Barf and Sal, I know this episode's about me, but I want you two to know how absolutely freaking amazing you are. And maybe you already know that, but you guys inspire me and push me and help me grow every day. And every single guest that we have on, if you ever get to be on this podcast, these two are so excited to have you on and to push you and to help you come out of your shell. Like what you two do is magic. You are bringing people spotlighting them in the safest, most comfortable environment, and the number of people who've gotten that itch and gone on to do other things, that's you guys. Like, so please don't stop this. Don't. Like, keep doing it, and I'll be around, and I'm sure I'll come on and I'll bug you to be a guest at some point. But like,
Please.
you two matter so much, and I hope you guys know that.
Thank you so much, Turarts.
Thank you.
If we do have another surprise, and Turarts, you know about this one.
Yes.
This is something, and you know that we could never dream of replacing you. The Turarts energy is palpable. I just want to make sure that I'm still on camera.
Yes.
For some reason, my Discord is not.
I see you fine.
Doing. Okay, great. Oh, now it's back. Great. So we could never replace you. Your energy, what you bring, is something unique. However, when Barf and I try to do a podcast, just the two of us, it doesn't work.
I love them.
It's this weird. We don't rhythm well. We need someone else to do, because I'm like over here tweeting and he's over here pushing whatever buttons that happens, and then we need someone that reads the show notes.
Like Navox said, 3 is the magic number for this show. You really do 3.
Navox, he did say that. I agree. 3 is the magic number. Plus, we get sick, we go out of town, so we are bringing in a third.
Ooh.
And this took us, it wasn't not easy, right? We need someone who could do a few different kinds of things, and we did figure it out, and we've kept this close to our chest for weeks, actually. And this person that we're bringing in, I can't believe that they were able to keep it a secret.
Yeah.
I mean, of all people. I mean, obviously it's not Tink. If it were Tink, everyone would know about it already.
That's true.
Sorry, Tink. I didn't mean to out you.
Oh, Tink!
Sorry.
Barf, are you ready with the buttons?
Yeah, I'm ready with the buttons.
Okay, here we are. And the person joining us on the Converted is... Drumroll. Frasley!
Yeah.
Yay!
Hey!
Sal messaged me and said, this is think, and I could not be more excited for the energy that you bring and for the chemistry that you 3 are going to have. You are not only going to fill my shoes, you are going to overfill them and do an amazing job. And I am so glad that they asked and that you agreed to do this. So just like, congratulations. This is going to be so amazing.
Thank you, Turarts. I'm just, you've been someone that I've looked up to for a long time, and not just because I'm a gnome, but I've looked up to you.
That's
And
my also tell.
When Sal and Barf contacted me, I was like, I spent time with them in the chicken coop at BlizzCon, and I knew that these were good people, and I was like, at first I was like, I can't replace you. I mean, no one can replace you. You are a person, and as I said in chat, please save this episode. On the days where you're feeling the worst, replay this episode to know how much you've impacted people all across the world that you may never have met, and people that don't even respond. I've heard 3% of listeners to any podcast will ever tell you what you mean to them.
I'll tell you that when Turarts told us that she'd be leaving, we did the show, she made the announcement, we turned off the stream, and 3 of us, and I said, so who are we gonna ask? What's gonna happen? And I'm like, well, Frasley, right?
Wow.
I mean, like,
yep.
I was like, we need someone with some energy, and there were other names, but the very first one was like, so I mean,
Frasley.
If we can't get Frasley, who else? Okay,
that was really the conversation. Yeah,
be prepared to pick up stream like once every year.
Oh,
Just
I can do that. I've got Streamlabs ready. I just need the all the stuff, Barf, so you and I can. I'll slide into your DMs later on.
Oh yeah, man. We'll talk about the Dropbox. I got all kinds of stuff in there.
Ooh,
get ready.
excellent.
It is.
The passwords. Yeah, we're gonna give you the keys to the car.
Ooh,
yeah!
I can finally drive.
Whose car?
Whose car?
I don't have a car. I don't drive.
Shoot.
So.
Oh yeah, that's right. Uber and Lyft all around New York City. That makes sense. I get it.
Yeah, so Texas was great for me. That was great. So it's yeah. I'm glad Turarts is here to bless this union. That wasn't the right thing to say. But
A cord of 3 strands is not easily broken.
Yes.
So
That's very true. You need 3 for the show, and you, having had you on as a guest before, and having you work with all of us like this, perfect. I'm so excited to listen to what you guys come up with and who you interview and to come on here and challenge the trolling skills of Navox and Tink as a guest.
Oh, the
I will
only thing.
have
The only thing I told Sal that I can no longer tell people to talk during the intro because I always do that.
Yeah, you're not gonna be able to troll us anymore. We control you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now we'll troll the chat.
Oh, well, you control the chat all you want to. Make a special, especially Tink. He gets it more than anyone else.
Okay,
especially
Tink.
after tonight.
Well, my
Go
favorite
ahead.
Tink story is you gave him admin, and 2 seconds later he drops a cuss word.
Yeah, immediately.
Immediately.
That was the best thing.
It's like, hey, look, I'm a moderator, and then it drops an F-bomb in the chat room. Notice that sword is not next to his name anymore.
And Sal
That
went on a
disappeared.
sword giving spree. Like a lot of people have swords.
There was a lot of swords given out. I mean, I wasn't sober that night, but there were many swords.
I got one of the swords.
You got a sword. That's right. And Turarts, you will always have a sword in our chat room.
Yes.
For some reason, we keep Navox around.
We need him for
We like him.
check-ins occasionally.
Yeah.
So we did give you a job to do tonight, Frasley.
Yes.
So did you grab all the shout outs from the chat room?
Yes, as long as they
The show notes?
as long as they said shout out, because there was a lot of great stuff happening, but I pulled out what were the shout outs. I almost let Draven go. I was like, no, that's a shout out. Pull it out.
Yeah, I saw that Draven did one. So let's good work, new guy.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get in on some of these Twitter mana buns. I was able to pull out 3. Now, we had asked people for guild memories and shout outs to Turarts. So Frasley, could you please start with Lord Xanthius?
Yes. So Lord Xanthius shared a guild memory. My first raid with Banana Republic. I went in expecting a trial on normal Blackrock Foundry and got tense when I found out it was heroic progression. 5 seconds later, I was laughing with the group. And also the 250 to 400 man pound fist that we held for hours so people would get them.
Oh my gosh. Remember Pound Fist?
Pound Fist, jeez, yeah.
Oh, and then everyone wanted to get that mount, right? And there was like, no, just kite him. Just kite him for a while. Don't DPS. No dots. Yeah, and everyone got him. Barf, you have one from Dave the Hunter.
Yeah, we sure do. Another shout out for Turarts. We will miss you, but you'll never be far from our hearts. Thank you for all you've done for CTR. Dave the Hunter, a.k.a. Eli. See you around, kiddo.
BS Switch says, I was a member of CTR since basically day one. Likewise, I listened to The Converted since basically the beginning as well. Turarts was there for some of my earliest memories of the guild. And to see she's leaving the show / guild position is really surprising. She has the best of reasons, and I wish her nothing but the best as one chapter winds down and another one spins up. Now for the chat room shout outs. And Frasley, these are going to be yours pretty soon.
Yes.
These have been on Turarts' good hands for years now. And let's let you do them all.
Me or Turarts?
You.
Oh, me.
No, you.
Okay.
It was Frasley. Yeah.
So from the chat room, we have Billy Piper Heals You says, shout out to my raid team Banana Republic. I took 6 months off after the death of my mother, and my first week back, they got me AOTC. Frasley S says, shout outs to Turarts. I just remembered a time when we killed Horde leaders for the CTR anniversary event. And I do. Yes. I've got that mount.
Yep. Yep.
And Draven Dresden says, favorite Turarts moment? I can't say specifically, but she'll know what I mean when I say there's nothing wrong with these. And they are always a good time.
Oh dear.
Winky face.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I do.
It's from Draven. It's
from Cards Against Humanities. That was a man. You guys missed
Oh.
it. Y'all missed it. That was a good one.
Well. Alrighty, Barf.
Yeah, now's the time where we're going to let Turarts talk. Before we let you go, do you have shout-outs?
I do. Shout out to Sal, Barf, Belle, Navox, and Cuddles. I have had the pleasure of working on with all of you on this show, and it has been an absolute dream. Shout out to every podcast I have been on. I can't think of them all right now. I definitely hope that doesn't stop, but we'll see what happens. But it has been a pleasure being on Azeroth Roundtable, Dark Moon Herald, and there have been so many other that I've been on, and there are still so many on the wish list of maybe some days. Shout out to the guild. I meant it when I said that the reason I am here is because of you. You guys have no idea how much you matter, how much this community means, and how much you inspire people. Shout out to Jules and Pat and all the leadership for taking a chance on me. Like I said, I really, when I came into this position, felt like a little nobody from Iowa, and what was I gonna do, especially with all these huge names, to Hordes like Fist and Taryn Gregory and people who have, let the divisions lie and come together. Coltrane, I will never ever be able to stop thanking you enough. You have been one of my biggest supporters for a while now, since I've been on this podcast and I poked you about random things, and you have no idea how much that means to me. Zero idea, and I will never be able to thank you enough for that ever. Tinkerbell, you are my biggest cheerleader whenever I am down. There is a wildly appropriate, inappropriate gift that I love, and a comment to go with it, and I can't thank you enough because you have pulled me out of so many dark times as well. Frasley, thank you for stepping up and coming in and doing this, because it is a blessing, and I know you podcast and I know you do so much, but this will change your life. Trust me, it will, and you are in for the ride of your life, and enjoy every second of it, because someday, 7 years from now, you're going to be here and you don't want to stop talking because it's going to end. Thank you so much. Just thank you. I couldn't have done this without you, any of you. To the department heads, Barf and Ash and everyone, just thank you for being there, for letting me come out to California for all of it. I wouldn't be here today. I wouldn't be who I am if it wasn't for you. I wouldn't have gotten through my divorce. I wouldn't have done any of this if it wasn't for you guys. And just please. And I know this sounds awful, and I know you guys don't know what I've gone through, but it makes sense if you do. Just don't forget about me, please. Sal, Barf, Frasley, what shout-outs do you have?
Who could we possibly shout out to than to the unforgettable pillar in our lives? And I'm still going to bother you once a week to find out, so what you doing?
Yeah.
How's it
No,
going?
please do.
What'd you do? Get that text messages going on. And I've always said that you are the best of us. So I'm
going to be bugging you, and Barf. Barf gave me his number. That was a mistake.
That's true.
It was a mistake. It's true.
Both.
No, that part's probably not true. She knows how to call me though. So yeah, that part's true.
I have gotten you been like, hey, you're on the wrong channel. Yeah, I know that already.
Yeah.
Because I'll get the notice when I'm driving. I'm like, oh, we're not live right now.
Apparently we went live. I'm on the road.
And Billy Piper heals you is correct. The podcast will now be known as He Converted because you can't have the converted without the T.
Wow.
I like that. That's good.
Do we have to change our RSS feed for that? Oh no.
I'm sure that's a very easy thing to do that you could just do.
Just do a 301 redirect. Let people know about 60 to 90 days, so that way everybody who's subscribed can catch over to the new one.
Sounds easy. No problem. Presley, that's your first.
Okay.
There we go. See, you're already giving yourself homework. You're good.
Yay.
Obviously,
Okay.
shout out to you, T. Obviously.
Yeah.
Do we have to go more? Shout out to Tink for spilling the beans. Good job, buddy.
I'm gonna punch him.
His message was really sweet. I'll play it for you, Joe. But I was like, oh, she's planning something. I didn't expect this. I don't know. I didn't expect Coltrane or Pat, or I don't know why I didn't. I just didn't expect them to care, I guess. Like, that sounds really mean, but I still think of myself as a nobody from Iowa. Getting better. Like, this has done more than you guys know. So thank you so much.
You deserve it.
And I'll still be here. I'm supposedly doing a podcast. I have 5 months to get the second episode out, so I mean, I'm on track.
Oh, you just gotta beat Coltrane.
Gotta beat Coltrane.
We don't know what it actually is yet. It could be 8 months. We don't know. He could be having a baby.
Or it's released in New Zealand. A lot of iOS apps launch in New Zealand. Maybe we don't have New Zealand listeners, so maybe it's actually out there.
You know?
That could be it.
I think that's probably about time to wrap us up, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all so much for hanging out with us tonight. One more final big, extra special big thank you to Turarts for everything forever of all time.
Yes.
I'd like to also thank Navox and Geek Chic Lisa for our theme music. You can find us on Twitter at converted_CTR. Turarts, as always, is at Turarts. Sal is at summer_Sal. Frasley is at Frasley-tastic. And I am at a bonus level. Sal, when's the next episode?
Well, Barf, our next show is Monday, January 20th. On that day, Frasley joins us as a full-time member of the Converted cast.
It's going to be a lot of fun. For Sal.
I love you, Turarts.
For Frasley.
You're always. I'm speechless. Just you're always here for us, and anytime reach out to any of us, and we'll reach out to you.
And one last time for Turarts.
Thank you so much for the past 7 years. I can't think of a better group of people who I would want to call family, and you guys are it. So thank you for being my family, and I'm blessed and lucky to continue to be a part of that. Thank you.
And for myself, we love you, T. We'll see you next time.
You can follow the show on Twitter at converted_CTR. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Converted Podcast. And find us on our Twitch channel, Converted Podcast. And join us live every other Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern.
This podcast is a part of the Signals Media All-Star Network. For more information on this and other fine shows, go to signalsmedia.com. It's okay to stick our stuff in your ears. Really.
And that's a wrap.
Like, I expected something, but not that. And so thank you.
I'm going to punch him. I'm going to punch him.
He sent me a message Thursday. He's like, Sal told me there was this deadline and my kid was in the hospital and I couldn't. And I was like, I don't think he knows we haven't done the show yet. Like, I felt so bad. So I was like, and then he's on there. I'm like, you liar. You liar. Sorry, Tink.
No, Tink actually kind of well, first of all, Frasley sent his in immediately. Right.
Of course he did.
And then because I did it before the holidays, but it was the holidays, and I didn't expect anyone to do it during the holidays. But I'm like, I'm going to put this worm in your ear. Show's in 3 weeks. Here we go. And then Tink, it was like Frasley did it immediately, like 3 weeks ago. And then like a week ago, Tink goes, oh, it's too late. I'm sorry. I'm like, dude, got a week. How long do you think it takes for me to put an audio file together? I will say it took me a long time to
Now, if you ever need someone to put audio together, Kara does an amazing job. She does the audio every week for This Week in Trek. So if you ever need a lot of different audio from different places to put together, definitely reach out to them.
Well, what I was dealing with, I don't know what Tink recorded on, but it sounded like a Sony like double cassette player thing where you have to press play and record or play.
Yeah, you had to press play and record at the same time. I remember that.
At the same time. Yeah.
Okay.
And it's like, but there was still clipping. I don't understand like how it was so soft, but you can still like it gets so loud. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is the worst. And you can't hear it anything. Tink, I seriously want to know what you recorded on. Was it literally your iPhone?
Billy Pepper says it was a talk boy.
Talk boy from Home Alone.
That was, you sent me a voice memo. Oh my gosh.
See, I got a nice video where it was really clear and like he was super like I got a really nice.
He sent you a video?
Did.
Yeah. I could have ripped the audio from the video and gotten a better recording than that. But I mean, you can't top what Tink said.
Yeah, no, that would like.
Yeah, the content was fine.
I wouldn't change that.
That was great.
I adore Jules, and I know she's been stepped down from the for a while now. Like starting off, I didn't expect starting off with Jules. And these are all people like. Again, I remember coming into this guild and being like, I'm an officer. Like these people kind of know me, but they don't know me. And like to hear them all say such wonderful thank you.
Well, Tink was the only audio person I asked. Everyone else was like some kind of podcasty in some way. And I'm like,
no.
And Tink.
I have to say, Navox, I should have. He did the music. I should have done music. That was like, he started it all up.
Navox and I was Bella's surprise. Gosh.
So Navox has been messaging me the entire show. I'm trying to get in the chat room. I'm trying to do this, and Navox is like, "What's the code for the Google code so I can get into your Twitch and take away the bad word filter?"
You should have asked her that an hour and a half before the show, like I did this week.
All the bad words come up, and I'm like,
"Then I'm
okay." So when we clear all the bad words and it all shows up in chat, do the non-swords see that also?
I don't know.
I don't think so. I think it's.
You think it's only the swords that see that?
Which is good.
I think it's only the swords. Yeah.
I'm like, why is this now being said in
there were
our
a
chat?
lot of there was some dirty talk happening.
Because I definitely responded to that in chat, and I was like, just so you know, @Navox is the person who put all these words in here. And besides that, why would you unmute some of those words?
I think
I think he did all instead of some.
I mean,
which is possible.
So so maybe only the mods saw this, which is almost everybody, right?
Yeah.
Like 17 mods. But it was like a whole list, like a long list.
And the words I cannot remake. I was crying and I started laughing.
Wasn't it like alphabetical and it stopped at C? And I'm like, what? Like, how do you have 100 words and only have the first 3 letters of the alphabet?
All the best words start with the first 3 letters of the alphabet.
Yes.
Let's be real.
Yeah, we need profanity. I mean,
now's your chance.
it's there's no filter anymore. No, he didn't do them all. I don't totally understand what happened, but he didn't.
Maybe there was like 20 pages of them, and he only killed the first page. Like, I don't know how it's been so long since I've tried to mute a word on Twitch.
Has spoken.
More profanity. Yes.
And I think it's on purpose. I think that Twitch doesn't show this because I've had people ask me weird questions in chat, and thankfully Automod catches it. I'm like,
yeah,
I'm glad, because that question I don't even want to answer that. Yeah,
Automod's great.
Well, in general, I like that, but the word "but," B-U-T-T,
but
was filtered. I'm like, okay, we can probably knock that down a nudge.
But not the other but word.
You know who we need to blame? Like, we probably need to blame Tink because he probably said something and we were like, we need to block all this stuff. Like, I bet
that's real. No. I'm trying to type the word but. I give Tink
mod power.
a mod and he's dropping F-bombs.
I remember that day too, because you were just like, what? Like, I was in the red room of greatness.
Oh, I hated that.
I went back and I watched a lot of our episodes that I was on, and seeing the progression of my audio and video quality, but the rooms that I have come from, like being on Hollywood Boulevard, where there was just the room behind me of darkness. And then like when we moved here, I was in the kitchen for a while. I was in this office but open, and there was one point where Miles was sneaking up on me, and so I was like, "You're I'm like, "Oh yeah, I know. No, I can see him." Like, he thinks he's sneaky, this little 3-year-old, but he's not.
I remember that.
I got him. Like
that red wall was angry.
It was so, when I watched the Mothra clip again, I was like, "Oh my god, I was still in the red room then." Like, and I had my vacuum cleaner right there too. Everyone needs a vacuum.
Didn't you bust out your vacuum one time?
That was for the Mothra.
Yeah,
that one I was trying to like. I was
trying to dust bust the Mothra.
Yes, because you were dying. You were like, "Why are you dust busting?" Thank you, Zug. That means a lot. It does. Night Elf Erotica. We'll get to Night Elf Erotica.
That. I mean,
I want to show
Navox
everyone my erotic friend fiction.
Okay, so did you hear the one that actually made it?
I didn't. No.
Oh my god, he didn't edit
Was
anything. It
I might
was
be that.
so he did a call out for erotic Warcraft fanfic.
Yes.
For Unshackled Fury in one of the first episodes, one of the first handful of episodes. And it used to just be Berserker. And I remember like, this is crazy. Like, why is he asking for this on purpose? Most people don't want that in their inboxes. But
Mikey Balls
like,
has been asking for dick pics for years.
Side note, that was a big surprise. Like Berserker is another one I've looked up to. We had him on the podcast and you did that bet thing. Like low key, like looked up to him. And so when he came on, I was like, Sal, how did you get him to say nice things? That was a surprise too. Thank you. Sorry.
Berserker's a teddy bear.
He is.
I mean, Berserker and Navox are like the same person.
They are.
They really are. Like they're big, like raw. Oh, I'm gonna cook meat, you know, and gorilla guys, right? But they're like the sweetest, nicest guys. Anyway, I'm off track.
Yes, Berserker got porn in his mailbox.
Well, I think there was only one. He's like, this is the one that won. he does have a good voice.
He does.
And he's like, but you know, there only could be one winner because I only got one submission, and here it is, and it was proper, legit, 50 Shades of Grey novella about Anduin and Rathian. So not only was it
There's a lot of material there.
erotic fanfic, but it was homosexual erotic fanfic. So to hear Berserker talk in graphic detail about what these two characters engage in, and then put it on the RSS feed. I mean, I didn't think I needed that in my life, but I did.
So, like when they talked about this, because Navox talked about it, and I DM'd him about it. I DM'd him. I started off with one that was like T and Illidan, and when Illidan's like, "You are not prepared," I'm like, "You are not prepared." But I got like too it got too much, so I was like, "We can't do this one." So then I switched it to a Night Elf and like T, and then a Blood Elf, and like I had it typed up, but I'm like, I just can't let people know this side of me yet. Like I can't do that, so I did not do it. But if you ever do it again, Navox.
So what you're saying is, in between episodes of Words of Warcraft, you're going to be releasing the fan submission of all the ERP stories that people mail you.
If I can get
Turarts, at Turarts.
If I can get that husky voice I had for 2 episodes when I lost my voice, like I would ASMR the crap out of anyone's erotica. Like send me
Listen,
erotica. I'll ASMR
episode
it.
11, Unshackled Fury. You can't spell Warcraft without RP.
Yeah.
That's the thing is, Unshackled Fury is like a legit podcast now.
It
I mean,
is.
when you bring Navox
I don't
on,
think they could do it again.
it kind of elevates the situation. And I've always said that I like that show. Believe it or not. I mean, I don't know why. No, I do know why. It's intelligent. It's intelligent, which is the weirdest thing to say about those two guys.
About
I
warriors,
call on
yeah.
Chuck Fury the screw tape letters of WoW, because you never know if they're serious or not when they're reading all that rage on the forums.
Navox, my best friend. If you guys ever decide to do an erotica, Valentine's Day is coming up. I'm just gonna point that out, and I need something to do. Like, just
She
let me know.
needs this outlet.
And Nav and Berserker, there is one episode of me reading a clip.
No, there's not.
There is.
Like, I can come on the show and read it. Like, down. I'll do this.
I'm gonna go ahead and confirm that.
Yeah, I'm
I'll
putting on my
confirm
calendar
anything
in
you want
ink.
to about
That's what's happening.
another podcast. Let's go ahead and book that. Just get a hold of Zerker, and Navox is right here. This can happen. No problem.
Turarts,
No problem.
Navox, and
Not on
Berserker.
this show.
Not on this show.
Yeah, on Chuck Fury.
Done.
Unshackled Fury. Yeah, you'll have one episode that's all about stocks and the board meetings and a breakdown of what board members.
And then erotic
get.
WoW.
And then the next one will be another RP about Illidan.
Oh God, Illidan. Oh.
I don't know. That is Unshackled Fury has definitely turned into something more.
It's amazing. Like, I love Berserker's voice, like I do. I'm 100% like an accent, like voice type of person. Like that's a big sensory for me. So the first time I heard him talk, I'm like, you can just like Coltrane, you can read the phone book, and I'm gonna sit there and I'm gonna eat up every number and name, and I don't care. Like, gosh, he's such a
Everyone had the same joke. Zug. There you go. There you go.
CTR@gmail.com.
I am now is full of podcast requests.
Like here, Draven's like comment his shout out. And this was part of a CTR thing, so I can say it. It was after dark. We were playing Cards Against Humanities, and I made a comment about orgies always win. Because that was one of the cards that kept coming up, was something about Tauren orgies, and then another one was like a blood elf orgy. I can't remember, but I'm like, orgies always win. Like, you can't go wrong with an orgy. So it was, I don't know, but the things come out sometimes before I think about what I'm saying, and then you're like, well, this is what we're doing now.
This is why I've told my nephew he can't podcast. I mean, we were streaming. I had him streaming with me one day. He starts talking about, I won't mention the term. I was like, you can't talk about that. You can't joke about that. And he's like, you have to be very careful.
You can't say stuff around kids, man.
No, you can't.
No, you can't.
And he was just joking, like when he joked, like, you can't say that on Twitch because someone will clip that.
I feel like Miles has grown up with you guys. Like I do. Like, this is also like he realized that. He's like, Mom, I'm never going to be on the podcast again. I was like, crap.
He can
Like,
come. He can get
that hurts. But Miles has gotten really like, you'll say something and he clicks it, because I made a comment. I'm like, Auntie Brooke's wedding's coming up. I really need to start losing weight to fit into that dress. So today, like, I'm emotional eating, and I have a box of Milano cookies, and I go to eat one. He goes, now, Mom, you said you needed to fit into that dress. Do you want to pick up a cookie or pick up exercise? I was like, Jesus.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, get your stress exercise going.
I'm like, you are 7. Miles so much loves Batman. Like, if for some reason you have Batman junk you don't want, tell me, because he will want it. But yeah, he just, the stuff that is coming out of his mouth, I'm like, child, what? And then like we got home and I'm like, what should we have for dinner? He's like, well, I think you should really have some vegetables, Mom.
Yes, power hot.
I'm like, fine. Oh, yeah, I don't know. Kids say the things, and I'm just like, one comment about me, like, nonchalantly, I should probably lose weight for her wedding, and like, little personal.
No, he grabbed onto that, man.
I give it 2 days before he's got you doing chin-ups in a doorway somewhere.
What he said, because he has a little chunky tummy, like he does. I love his little chunky tummy, and so I was like,
7.
maybe you need to exercise. He's like, Mom, you love my chunkies. It's like, I do love your chunkies, but can't argue with a kid. I need that kid in my life. Like everything with the divorce, he is such a bright spot.
Watching you.
Yeah. No,
In other news, we did try to troll Frasley today.
we did.
We said that he needed to have a smoky eye.
Yes.
I
Not
half
do it, though.
expected you to come in here with, the full Winter Soldier.
Well, I was trying to do that, but my James Charles kit was sold out. So
How do you know who James Charles is?
I watch YouTube. I watch reaction videos.
Did you watch reaction videos to James Charles?
James Charles and different people. Yeah, I watched the ones that were reacting to the Ace family and stuff like that.
Oh my gosh. I'm more of a Jeffree Star fan myself.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Mark Conan was able to get yeah. We were at BlizzCon and we were both like on our phones, like trying to get a conspiracy palette when it came out on the day of BlizzCon. It came out like an hour before BlizzCon started. And I'm like, oh, I didn't get in. And he goes, I got in.
I heard about that. Yes.
And he put 2. And then he sat there because he was like waiting on it in the queue for like 2 hours. He just sat there with his phone, like making sure that it was still there for 2 hours. During the whole through the opening ceremonies and afterwards or whatever. And then like a few hours later, I totally forgotten about it. And it's like, we got it. So I got one of those eyeshadow palettes. And that's where my look came from tonight.
I love it.
We have spiraling down here with my pills up here. So there you go.
I think Mark Conan might be into everything.
I love Mark Conan. He is.
I think
so
Mark Conan
kind.
might have an actual genuine interest in every subject.
Yeah.
Well, that's just it. He had this. He was really into this YouTube series. My carpet got up, and he was so into it. And I'm like, so as a man, what are you gonna do at the end of the series? Like, the idea is there's this eyeshadow palette. It's like, how do you satisfy yourself? He's like, oh, I'm gonna buy one for my wife, and then he bought one for me too. I mean, I gave him the money. He mailed it to me, and but yeah. So
At BlizzCon, somebody was looking for this specific pin, and Mark Conan got them the set that they needed for that pin.
He always goes above and beyond.
Was it this Worgen that he got for silver?
Yes, that's what it was. I was like, somebody, yeah.
It's Jin Greymane.
It's Jin. Look at Jin go. I was so embarrassed. I don't want to stop because I know once it ends, it ends. But it's 11 o'clock, and I know you are. Well, I don't know where Frasley is, but you all are on the East Coast.
Well, it only ends until the next time we drag you in here.
I know.
Yeah.
We'll make you guest.
Like, if anyone needs guests on their podcast, hit me up.
here is the conspiracy palette.
That
you have been moved up on my short list, Turarts.
It's a little pyramid.
It's like a
looking
pyramid.
thing.
I love it.
Then it's got little latches on it. You open it up.
Oh, I love that purpley color. Second row, fourth one in. Ooh, and then that one down there
This
too.
one?
Yeah, and that one that you pointed to.
This dark one is called Not a Fact. It's a conspiracy. And then this one is
Like an
called
alternative
Trisha.
fact?
Well,
I love it.
the whole thing is about conspiracies, right?
Ooh.
So
Think about you put it on your eyes, not in it.
yeah, you don't have to put it in it. So one of these is called the one, maybe my favorite one is green. I don't know if it comes across as green.
It's gray.
It looks gray on camera, but it's
Yeah.
deep green. Yeah, my hair looks gray on camera too, but it's green. Well, I mean it is gray, but yeah. This one's called Illuminati.
I get it.
That is my jam.
Like
The way a tea would be.
spilling the tea. It's like spilling the tea, and it's Illuminati.
Oh, I took it as a little like naughty.
Oh, I was thinking that too.
No,
that's the next line where it's all innuendos.
It's Illuminati, but Illuminati like spilling tea.
Yes. No, I took it as
Oh.
Illuma naughty.
No.
See,
And
I'm
then
on a
there's this
Illidan, like
mint one called "Where's the Tea?"
never mind.
Oh, sorry. I put on Just a Theory tonight, not my pills. I'm trying not to show this.
A game theory. No, sorry.
Yeah. Anyway, this was what we did at BlizzCon is talk about eyeshadow. Q porn. What? Are we still? Sal is a Jeffree Star and Mark. I totally am. So, wait a minute. Stop. Navox, you're buying this stuff too. Geek Chic Lisa, I click on Jeffree Star's Twitter and I see Geek Chic Lisa also follows. So I know. Tell me, Navox. Navox, tell me you didn't watch the conspiracy theory.
He
the
says
series.
he knows everything about it because of his wife. So
yeah,
because of his wife.
Now, did you watch this web series? Anyway, this was like a $55 situation.
Oh my gosh.
But if it were at Sephora, it'd be like 90.
Oh yeah, no, you're right. It would be much more Sephora.
Yeah, I mean, so that's why you get it online. This I need to join. So this is the podcast. I need to. Oh yes, all the money. God, we still have a lot of people in the chat room. This is crazy. Still have a lot of people in the chat room. You know, if it wasn't like after 11 o'clock, I'd say let's bring them in. But no, we can't. That's not. No. Where's that music coming from?
Ashley.
Like wrap it up.
I was just even anyone noticed.
Oh.
Gallon is on raid break.
And don't worry, Casey, it's all royalty free, so we're good.
Good.
Yeah, he was worried.
Well, I mean, it's not like what's going to happen. I have the recording. What else? We're fine.
Yeah. Speaking of, is that in DOS Dropbox?
Oh yeah, it's there.
Cool. Well, I should wash my hair.
Yeah, it's time.
I've had to go to the bathroom for about the last hour.
There you go.
So I'd like to do that.
Thank you. We need to say bye. I know I'm bad at goodbyes, offline goodbyes, but this is a goodbye. I'll still be around.
Yes.
Give me about a week to cry and eat carbs, and
That's what I'm talking about.
the podcast should, as soon as I figure out this monitor thing.
Oh, I can't wait.
I'm excited. The first episode was really scary. That would be the next thing. If you want to do a podcast, just do it. It's a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. And yeah, no, I'm really nervous for you to listen to it, Navox, because you were like a lore whore, and so you're gonna go through and be like, "Here's the thing." No, but yes.
Well, I think you'll find that Tiffin was actually 33 and not 32 when she was killed in the riots, and I think you'll find that maybe if you researched a little harder.
Actually,
I did 4
The
accents, and
symbolism?
they just slid.
The symbolism, like the symbolism from young Varian going up to like the king we knew him as, I'm like, oh my god, like again, the oh my god jumping thing, like that happens a lot, and I'm looking around and I'm like, well, my dog, so I can't really get excited with you here, so.
Because your dog would be like, yes.
Yeah, no, he gets excited too, but yeah, I really need I need to drop it so I can have other people get excited. But yes, we should probably go.
I don't understand what Tink is asking me.
Greater good soul.
GS prep.
Gear score.
Are you talking about the rate?
Oh, gear score.
Oh, well, hopefully you've had like a month and your gear score is right where it needs to be.
403, baby.
Yeah, cool. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and take it off, Mr. Barf.
Alrighty. Bye everybody. Thanks for hanging out tonight.
Bye.